Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be presenting a new project. A new project in Millphones, and it's called Pure Catch. Uh, so it's the 26th of June and it's issue 1. This is the first time I'm recording this project. It's linked to the ProLocal project, which is a Baghdad project. Uh, and So I'll start the project, introduction of the project with this quote: "Climate change is not just a problem for the future, it is impacting us every day, everywhere." This quote is by Vandana Shiva, by from the book Soil Not Oil: Environmental Justice in an Age of Climate Crisis. So as you know from my pro-local presentations, is that the country and the whole country and the capital city is affected by climate change, and its effects is huge on the river as well. But not only climate change, but also dams by neighboring countries like that are affecting the river flow. As you see on this diagram, these are the water resources, and from the Ministry of Water Resources. And internal to Iraq is 8%, while to Turkey is 71%. So it has two rivers, but the main dams, biggest dams are done on the Tigris River. And so the role of the river in the city is very important for agriculture, drinking, and industry, and it supports irrigation systems. Because the country is not very established in terms of developing watering systems and other ways like water harvesting, rainwater harvesting, and other ways to bring water into the country. So water scarcity is one of the main issues, because reduced rainfall will also affect the river flow, and it has lowered over the years. Pollution affected the river as well. Industrial waste, sewage, and oil spills in the south, it happens a lot, that have degraded water quality. And dispute over water, which I just mentioned, by Turkey, Syria, and Iran. So what are the major threats of the Tigris River? Water shortage, pollution, and political disputes over the dams, projects that threaten the water sustainability. And in this project, I'm looking at how we can find an intervention that can help with this issue. This is this is an article from a newspaper. It says drenched yet thirsty. So it happens every year during rainfall. The country almost gets flooded with rainwater. But it struggles to harvest this rainwater. And the issue is mainly structural, that the country's infrastructure was all affected and is still in the same situation, not resolved. Utilizing rainwater in Iraq faces several challenges that prevent it from reaching its full potential. A key obstacle is the lack of proper infrastructure, with Iraq experiencing a significant shortage of dams and reservoirs, particularly in the center and southern regions. So Although Iraq has 19 dams, mostly constructed on the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, um, aiming to control the flow of water during periods of high discharge to protect cities from floods and to store water during dry spells. Um, So there is a lack of planning and how to deal with this, and they need an adoption of modern irrigation techniques such as drip irrigation and subsurface irrigation and other management skills. So I'm looking at an intervention concept. It's called rainwater harvesting, and it looks at how to collect the rain from the rooftop, from a catchment device, and in the component, it filters the water and then it distributes it and then it stores it, and it requires maintenance. I'm looking at a concept called urban acupuncture. And urban acupuncture is a strategic approach to urban renewal inspired by traditional Chinese medicine. It involves making small targeted interventions in specific areas of a city to stimulate positive change and revitalize the surrounding environment. So, as you know, water is life, and without it, there's so many things that get affected by it. And once water exists, plantation can grow around the area as well, which will bring more life into the area. These interventions, like acupuncture needles in the human body, are intended to trigger a ripple effect, promoting regeneration and improving the overall quality of life in the city. So currently, life in the city, there is lack of open spaces, lack of greenery areas, and even if there are greener areas, because of climate change and because of heat, and water shortage, these are all affected. And mostly, some trees die, although there are some trees that adapt to the weather. Um, but basically, the project will be looking at all of these at once. And I've called it pure catch because it's a rainwater, so it should be pure. So I'm looking at an easy to assemble design. It can be assembled in the city and the desert. So I looked at the the component that I will be designing, and I'm thinking, why not, if I'm collecting water in the city, maybe I can collect water during hot summers from the humidity that happens in the desert. Because I looked at fog catchers as an example, where they put fabric on the um, fabric material, and then they catch the driplets of the water. Material can handle heat and water. So I'm looking at material that can handle heat in the desert and even in the city, and a material that can handle, obviously, can catch water without, um, without getting ruined. Rain harvest during winter and sunshade during summer. So I'm looking at a product that will rain harvest during the winter, but will be aesthetically pleasing, and also will have a role during the summer, like a sunshade during the summer. And I'm looking at green design, a solar accessory, so it can be of use because of the hot sun in the summer. So why not do sun harvesting, provide light during the nighttime, that's an extra, and flexible design that can change to fog moisture trap, like I explained in the desert, and the fog reference. That was done I think in Mexico. Yeah, that's it's a YouTube video that I watched as an example. So this is a concept sketch, a first concept sketch that I've done, and I'm looking at like a like a big large cup underneath the sky collecting rainwater, and it's a conceptual sketch. So I first started with sketching the Tigris River, and then I drew this overlaid the sketch on top. And so you can see, yeah, so it's obvious this is rainwater harvesting, and I'm looking at a design that sun rays should be avoided from the top, as it might cause water evaporation. Um, and the design incorporates sun harvesting, like I said. Storage needs to be linked to a collection structure, which will be the hard part. Um, and the other sketch, which is here on the left-hand side, I'm looking at the shape. Not it can change, but I'm still not, you know, I'm not definite about this, but it's just a first sketch. So I sketched another option where I'm imagining it to be like a tree in the desert, but it also has this fabric where it collects a um, humidity and turns it into water droplets in the desert. It collects fog as well. It can be during winter cold times, I guess. Um, this is a concept render that is generated by an AI based on my sketch and showing polycarbonate and metal materials. And this is another one also generated by the AI in the middle of the city. It's not what is expected. It's not like the final idea, but just to show what I am talking about. And this is the bibliography, mostly supported. This project is supported by Vandana Shiva, and the list of figures needs to be updated as well. And so that's it for today's first issue and presentation of this project, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening.